All right, this is 424, longest repeating character replacement. And for this question, pretty much what you want to do is you're given a string s, right? In this case, you're given a string s and an integer k, right? And pretty much for the whole question, you just want to return the length of the longest substring containing the same letter, which means that in this case, right, you have AABA. And you're able to replace one singular letter. So in this case, you want to find the longest consecutive sequence of letters. In this case, if you replace B, which you have one replacement, you get 4 consecutive A's, and that's what you return, right? And then you keep checking. Now you have AB, but it's not the same as the first set of sequence. So you keep going, right? You have BA. And this is exactly the same, but instead you're replacing the A with the B. And then you have this, which is not the same. It's not as good as the first two. Pretty much the highest you can get is 4, right? 4 consecutive letters. And you can do this with either A or B, which is what it says here, right? Now, to get started with this question, what you're doing is, well, we want to keep track of the letter and the frequency, which we can do using a dictionary or a hash map, right? And we can do the character frequency is equal to a hash map, right? And then what else do we need? We want to return the length of the longest substring. So pretty much what we're going to do is max length is equal to 0. And we want to use 2 pointers, but the whole technique is the sliding window, right? And with the sliding window, we're going to use 2 pointers, right? So left and right, and then the right pointer is going to keep moving through the string of characters. And let's initialize the left pointer to 0, and the right pointer, we're going to initialize it like this. So for R in range of the length of S, the length of the string, right? And we're doing this because we're working with the indexes to move the right pointer throughout the string. As opposed to doing it like this. So for R in S, right? This is working with the characters. You get A, B, A with this, but with this line, you get 0, 1, 2, 3, right? You get the indexes. Now, what are we going to do? We want to start initializing the C frequency hash map, right? And how we're going to do this is we do C frequency, and then we're gonna set A, right, or the character with the frequency that we see it, right? So in this case, the first initialization would be A and then 1 because we saw it once. Then we see A again, so we go back to A and then add another 1 to it. So then it'd be A2. That's how it looked like in our hash map. Now C frequency is where we're storing it, and what are we storing? We're storing the A. So S at R, so in the position R for the string, right? So this would be A. And then we're gonna set it equal to C frequency dot get. So we're getting the value at S that R. So in the string S at the position R, we're getting the value. And in this case, the default would be 0. So let's say for the first case, right? A s.get, we don't have anything, so we use the default, which is 0, but we want to set it equal to 1 because we saw it once, so we're just going to do +1, right? And so now we have AA, right? So we get so A, right, is equal to frequency.get at A. And then that would return 1 because we saw it once before, and then we don't have a default. It would just be 1 plus 1, which is 2, which is correct because we've seen it twice. Now that'll keep iterating through it, and then you keep track of the frequencies. Now, what do we want to do? We also want to keep track of the current length, right? The current length of our window, or the amount of characters we have, whichever way you want to look at it. Which in this case, if we start at the beginning, we have 1 character, right? And how do we keep track of that? Is right minus left, to the right pointer minus the left pointer, which would be equal to 0, right? So then we add 1 to it because there's 1 character in that window. Now, if we do this, the right pointer would be at 1, and then the left pointer would be at 0. But there's 2 characters in here. So then it would be 1 minus 0, which is 1, right? But then you're adding 1 because there's 2 characters here, right? And you keep going with that. So in this case, there would be 3 characters. And that's pretty much what you need to know for that. Now, right? Now we want to check if we're able to replace the character and then find the the longest substring containing the same letter consecutively. So how we're going to do this is we're going to subtract the letter with the highest frequency from current length. Now I'll show you how it looks like. So current length minus the max, right, of the values. So you're trying to find the highest frequency or the letter with the highest frequency. And you do this by C frequency dot values, right? What is happening here? So you get the hash map and you're getting all the values, and all the values are just the frequencies of the letters. So in this case, if you're reading through this, right? So we have 2 and 1, right? So the 2 is the frequency for the A and the 1 is for the B. And so 2 is the max, it's the highest frequency. So we're working with 2, right? But the current length is 3, right? We got it from here. So 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So we're able to change 1 character, right? Which would be the B here, because that'd be the best choice here, right? And we want to compare it to K, right? So less than or equal to K, which if it's less than or equal to K, we keep going. But we want to also keep track that this would be a good choice for the maximum length. Because if you replace B, you also meet the requirements, which is 1. So if you select B to replace, it'd be AAA, which the max length would be 3 in a row, right? And that's pretty much what you want to do here. But then if you continue again, right? You have the current length is 4. 4 minus 3, which there's 3 A's. 4 minus 3 is 1. And you're still meeting the requirements, right? So then you would update it. And then now the max length is 4, right? And then you keep moving your window. So what we want to do here is, if it's less than or equal to K, then we update the max length is equal to the max between the current length and the max length, right? And let's see. Let's leave that there for now. And then else, right? Else, we want to move our left pointer to the right once, right? And we want to do this because we want to get rid of this. We're going to just keep moving forward so that we meet the requirements of K equals 1 or K equals 2, right? So we do this by, well, first we remove the frequency. So C frequency at S at the left pointer, right? So here, we want to remove one of the frequencies because we're moving to the right. And then this is us moving to the right. We move the left pointer to the right, 1, right? To keep going, keep our sliding window going. And then we remove the frequency by 1 because we moved it, right? It's no longer in the sliding window. So in this case, it would be like this, right? We remove this one and then it's no longer in the frequency list. Now, pretty much we just want to here return the maximum length because that's what we're trying to find. Now let's see if I'm missing anything. Let's just run this. Yes, so it works. That's pretty much how this question works. You're just moving the sliding window to find the longest substring containing the same letter. And there you go. This is the code, and this is 424 longest repeating character replacement.